Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're tackling a really interesting, maybe slightly unsettling idea. The dark empath.
Yeah, it definitely challenges that common assumption, doesn't it? That, if you understand emotions, you must be, well, good.
Exactly. So we're talking about people who seem to have high empathy, they get emotions, but they also have those dark triad traits.
Right. Quick refresher for everyone. Dark triad is narcissism, so self-obsession, Machiavellianism, that's the manipulation, and then subclinical psychopathy, like a lack of conscience.
And here's the thing that jumped out at me from the research, the numbers. Dark empaths might actually be more common than the classic dark triad types.
Yeah, the figures mentioned are around, 19% compared to about 13% for the classic triad in the samples they looked at.
Wow, so nearly 1 in 5 in that sample.
Which kind of suggests that using empathy as a tool, maybe instrumentally, gives them an edge. Better social camouflage, maybe?
That makes sense. They blend in better. So let's dig into that mechanism. It's not that they can't understand feelings.
No, not at all. The issue is the motivation behind it. They have the intel, the emotional insight, but they use it strategically, often manipulatively.
Like getting good intel for a campaign, but the campaign is, self-serving.
Precisely. And they seem particularly skilled at cognitive empathy. That's the intellectual part, the perspective taking.
So they can map out how you're likely to react, identify weak spots.
Exactly. It helps them get what they need, validation, status, attention, that kind of narcissistic supply. They know which buttons to push because they've understood your emotional layout.
But then there's the affective side, the feeling part, and that's where it gets darker.
Yeah, that's the really fascinating and maybe disturbing part. Affective dissonance. They can understand you're distressed,
Okay.
but feel pleasure or satisfaction from it. A kind of schadenfreude. Some sources link this strongly to subclinical sadism.
Wow. So understand the pain, maybe even enjoy it a little. That's...
Yeah. And this empathy isn't always on. It's selective. Think about love bombing early in a relationship.
Right. That intense affection to hook someone in.
Exactly. It's a strategic display of effective empathy, designed to build trust quickly, find vulnerabilities, all under this mask of caring.
Which is why some argue they're potentially more dangerous than the classic types, isn't it? Because the really obvious ones...
You can often spot them miles off.
Yeah.
The overt callousness is a red flag. But the dark empath, they have much better social calibration.
They keep the dark traits but hide them better. Manage their image.
Perfectly put. They avoid the social fallout by maintaining this charming, understanding facade. Reputation management is key.
And that translates to how they attack, too. Less direct confrontation.
Definitely. They tend to favor indirect relational aggression, or IRA. So hurting you through relationships, reputation, emotions, but subtly.
Like malicious humor, jabs disguised as jokes.
That's a classic example. Or targeted guilt trips. They use that high cognitive empathy to know exactly where to stick the knife without leaving obvious fingerprints.
It's always strategic. Control, status, keeping their own image clean.
Always serving the self, ultimately.
So for you listening, the big takeaway here seems to be about discernment, right? You have to look past the words.
Absolutely. Does the understanding they show actually translate into real, consistent support? Or is it just talk, while their actions only benefit them?
Watch the actions, not just the apparent empathy.
And there's a final thought, maybe particularly for therapists or coaches, because these individuals have high cognitive empathy. They can grasp therapeutic concepts really quickly, understand what growth is supposed to look like.
Mirror it, fake it.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
They could use that insight to manipulate the process itself, which raises a tough question. Can you really teach genuine moral change if that sharp emotional insight is always fundamentally bent towards self-serving ends?
Can that wiring be overcome if the tool itself is used to protect the wiring? That's definitely something to mull over.